Alright, so since I've decided that this absolutely has to be at least 3-part, here's part 3 of my video game magazine collection. If you didn't watch part 1 or part 2, this is where I'm at the moment. Still got a couple more boxes filled with magazines to show you. So with no further ado, let's get this show on the road. Okay. PSM, Final Fantasy X. Again, great artwork on the cover. So here I have it. This is the last issue of Next Generation magazine. So I have the final issue of Next Gen, the final issue of Game Pro, the final issue of Game Now. And I think this is the last final issue I have of any magazine. So the Xbox launch special. And there's how many? They pretty much gave 5 stars to almost like every Xbox game. Like, it's interesting, to say the very least. Like, did you know? Let's see if I can find the reviews. Like, I understand giving 5 stars to Halo and even Dead or Alive 4 and some of the other ones, but did you know that NFL Fever is a 5-star game? That was the same month that Pikmin came out. See, where's their... Oh, and Grand Theft Auto 3 is a 4-star game. Perhaps it's overly ambitious given the flawed execution, but we'll take ambition over playing it safe any day. So Grand Theft Auto 3 is a 4-star game, but let's go to... And obviously they're not comparable. Maybe Fever, maybe he was a sports game fan, or maybe he just liked really nice graphics. Well, where's their Xbox? Okay, so Dark Summon, Kabuki Warriors, Mad Dash Racing. Munch's Odyssey is a 4-star game. NFL Fever, 5 stars. NFL Fever might be the out-of-nowhere system seller that NFL 2K1 was for the Dreamcast. No. Now, don't get me wrong. Fever was the prettiest football game on the Xbox at the time. But, no. Come on, really? Fever, a 5-star game. Like I said, I understand Halo and Dead or Alive, getting the 5-star things, graphics, and good gameplay. I even understand, well, they didn't even give Project Gotham. They gave it 4 stars. Cell Damage gets 2. Air Force Delta Storm. Halo, obviously, is going to be the 5-star one. But this is the final issue of Next Generation magazine. So, another final issue. Another magazine that did its best, gave it a run, and, well, failed. As they all did, eventually. PSM magazine. Did I already have this cover? I don't know. Again, Halo, Grand Theft Auto, Lara Croft, and Solid Snake. Put them on the cover, you're guaranteed. Viva la Revolution! Rayman Revolution. They really like that one, and it's actually a pretty cool remake. Well, yeah, kind of not a remake, but redo. PSM... The PS2's Big Guns, Final Fantasy VII Jack. Of course, put Solid Snake on the cover and Dante. For a while there, Dante was the thing to put on the cover too for a little bit. PSM, Metal Gear Shocker. A massive look at the sequel to Snake Eater. So, Metal Gear 4. Portable Ops. Oh, Metal Gear Solid 4, so... PSM always had really good Metal Gear Solid coverage. So Electronic Gaming Monthly, this is when the Game Boy Advance launched. So July 2001 issue, they covered the Game Boy Advance games. Here we go. This is an awesome cover for PSM. Soul Reaver, but look at that. Again, there's no comparison in the video game magazine world, or for even a lot of other I don't even know if the Wizard magazine had covers that were this cool. Maybe they did. Again, I only have that one issue randomly. But look at that. Look at this glowing claws. Like, that is just awesome. That's probably like the coolest picture of Raziel ever. So GMR, Star Wars Republic Commando. Again, another issue of Next Generation, Dead or Alive 3. Just put some boobs on the cover too. That sells them too. World exclusive board games, Tony Hawk's Underground. Just a random clip art. Unless that's official game art, I don't. Just a random clip art of a dude on a skateboard. That'll sell it. Then again, it was a giveaway with, I think, a GameStop subscription. Official US PlayStation Magazine. This is the only one PlayStation 1 era that I have. And the reason I bought this magazine is because on this demo was the first time I ever played Metal Gear Solid. It had the Metal Gear Solid demo on it. It had the Soul Reaver demo on it. And it had a few others on there. So I bought this entire issue because it had the Metal Gear Solid demo on it, and I really wanted to play it. I was so hyped. That might have been the last time I was super, super hyped for any game. So, PlayStation, Shinobi. Let's see. What else do I got here? I don't have to exit. So, PlayStation, the official magazine. Crisis Core. That's right. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. That's right. I guess it was released. I don't know. By this time, I stopped paying attention to a lot of the things. But this is PSM, not the official US PlayStation magazine. PlayStation, the official magazine. So what they eventually morphed into and lost a lot of their soul. Let's see. Let's see. Electronic Gaming Monthly. Too many games. Sort through the mess with our 2002 preview. So this is a January 2002 issue of EGM. Let's see. So they're still going to mark off the addresses on. Right here. The official Time Splitters 2 strategy guide. Put that in the random pile. So, and then Sega on the PS2. PSM again. Great cover art. Zone of the Enders from the creators of Metal Gear Solid. Game of the month. Alright, so that does it for that box, minus the ones I gotta X out. On to the next box. Alright, the next box. Sorry. GMR, Resident Evil 4. Electronic Gaming Monthly, Metroid Prime. GMR, Fable. After it... what do they used to call Fable? Project Ego? And it was supposed to be a lot more expansive than what we eventually got. It was visionary. And all the stuff they would talk about. The game that was going to feature ended up not really being in the game. At least not in the final game, which is why it didn't review very well anyways. Like, people remember it fondly, but again, at the time it didn't review very well because, well, they advertised it as it was going to have all this stuff, that stuff, and whatever else. And it ended up being a much smaller game than the initial vision, but then again, there was only so much you could do on the Xbox. You know, I'm sure Morrowind could do it, but hey. Anyway, so EGM, Metal Gear Solid 3. Xbox, this must have been, Munch's Odyssey Games Preview. So this is a little bit before the Xbox released. The next Halo. Again, just throw Master Chief on the cover. That'll sell. GamePro, we win! Ultimate 2007. 78 games revealed. And an all-new GamePro inside. You never asked for. Same Sims cover I showed earlier. Tekken 4. Where I pretty much stopped paying attention to that entire series, but hey. Electronic Gaming Monthly. PSP versus Nintendo DS. I wonder who's gonna win that one. Stuntman, from the creators of Driver. An incredibly frustrating yet satisfying yet frustrating game. You will tear your hair out. Don't ask me why I have the official strategy guide for Legends of Wrestling Brawler, but I do. Acclaim. Tekken 3. Heck yeah. Game Pro. Mortal Kombat 4. And one time you just put Mortal Kombat on the cover and you were good to sell. Ooh, here's this one. Sega Visions Magazine. This one has been kept pretty... The covers on it kept pretty good because this little... This is your last issue thing. They always help preserve the covers a lot better. But this is the one with Penn and Teller. The game they were going to release on the Sega CD. It was a Desert Bus. That's the infamous one. Eternal Champions. Challenge from the Dark Side. See the best sound on the Sega CD. Rebel Assault. Star Wars Rebel Assault. Best flying / driving product. Red Zone. But again, this magazine was pretty much just an advertisement for Sega. Like, I think they kind of reviewed games sometimes. Here, X-Band. But they really didn't. Game Gear Extras. Which one of those is an extra screen? Jokes. Fahrenheit. Anyway, Sega Visions was interesting, to say the very least. That goes in the miscellaneous pile. Let me see. PSM. Pretty sure It might be a double. Unless there's something I was looking at earlier today and just thought it was a double. The PlayStation 2000. PlayStation 2, new high-res Tekken tag screens and more. Yeah, PSM used to show a lot of PS2 screenshots and tech demo screenshots and get us all hyped up for it long before you ever even saw that the system looked like an 80s PC. Let's see, double X-Men, so at one time throw Splinter Cell and X-Men on the cover too, and it'll sell. That was popular for a little bit after the movies. Manhunt. Still need to pick that game up. It's infamous. I mean, it's not infamous, the game, but it's infamous. Pro Strategies. Halo 3. Go from one end of the tunnel and follow the arrow, and then go to the end of the tunnel, and then when the arrow tells you to backtrack to the beginning of the tunnel, you go back. Sweet. Halo Pro Strategies. Oh, multiplayer tactics. Just don't be a noob. So that's Game Pro's Pro Strategies. Let's see. Fall preview guide. I think I already showed this one, so this is a double. And, alright. Metal Gear Solid 3. Twin Snakes. So, again, just throw Snake on the cover. Game Pro. Zelda. Twilight Princess. The best Zelda ever. I like Twilight Princess. It was a really good Zelda game, but I still like Wind Waker the best. Alright, on to the next box. PlayStation, the official mag, Gran Turismo 5. Let's put a car on the cover. That'll sell issues. Let's see. Game Informer, Peter Jackson's King Kong. If you can't tell, King Kong was a big thing for a little bit after the movie came out. Spidey on PS2, and again, awesome comic book artist work there. And then here's Blood Omen 2 on top of Fighting Games Return on hand. Virtua Fighter 4 with, not Jackie, Sarah. PlayStation Preview 2001. That is not Sora, that's the dude from The Bouncer. And then we got Dark Cloud, Raziel, Onimusha, and, of course, just put Snake on the cover. Here's another Doc Zombie artwork patch. People kind of criticize him for this one for not being so, cool. But this, again, Doc Zombie was he was the GamePro look guy. Like, he gave GamePro its unique artwork. Like, I guarantee you if I saw some of his drawings today, I'd be like, that's the GamePro guy. Again, Tony Hawk, Halo 2. I might have already shown that issue. Brother, let me tell you something, brother. Issue 1 of 3. Collect all 3 exclusive WWE covers. Why would I, when I got the Hulkster? I don't need no other jabronis other than the Hulkster. PSM, PlayStation, Madden. Like, even... Is that an actual in-game? No? I don't know. That's kind of a stock artwork thing, but, like, you put Madden on the cover, but then again, Madden 2001 was kind of the big graphical game on the PlayStation. Van Ark, you only gave that a 2? Screw you guys. GamePro WWF Warzone. Again, either put Stone Cold on the cover or WCW guys. GamePro Resident Evil 3. Pretty thick issue. Right there. As you see, my GamePro starting to tower up. GamePro Sonic Adventure 2 and something about the Game Boy Advance. Blah, blah, blah. This one, I think, is a repeat cover. Or at least I have 2 of them, I know that. GamePro GTA 4. Let's see. Is it Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell? Or is it... same cover. StarCraft Ghost. And Invisible War. Ratchet and Clank Going Commando. GamePro. Let me see... Splinter Cell and Wind Waker on his shoulder. And The Getaway. Oh, these are starting to tower and teeter over. Jenga, Jenga. Alright. Let's see. This is a pretty small box. So, Final Fantasy. Win a Nintendo GameCube? Heck yeah. I had to pay for mine. What a sucker I was. Tekken 4. Is that a repeat cover? Or I don't know. I know I have a couple of those ones. At least 2 of that issue. GamePro magazine. Just put a car on the cover. It'll sell. And of course, just put Final Fantasy on the cover too. Because that'll sell too. And then... Tricky! GamePro. Let's see... GamePro, Metal Gear Solid 4, Dragon Ball Z, GamePro, WWE SmackDown, Just Bring It, see, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for GamePro. Yeah, my GamePro stack is, as you can tell, outnumbers the rest of them. Here's another one of those free bonus giveaways. Let's see. The Resident Evil 2 issue of GamePro magazine. And as you can see, just put Hulk Hogan on the cover too. Make sure you got your wrestling coverage. What used to be so fun is like wrestling and video games and video game magazines. The 90s were better times, folks, I'm telling you. Not San Andreas, Vice City. GamePro. Spider-Man 2. The same Dragon Ball Z cover I just showed. I think. One of them. Just put Dragon Ball Z on the cover too, folks. Or Lara Croft. That'll sell. This is before the Angel of Darkness came out and flopped, and... well, the rest is history. So I'm done with that box. Down to 3 more boxes. Yay! And there was much rejoicing. Game Informer. This is obviously a more recent one. Let's see. This is the same cover as the Rayman one. It just has a different cover. Don't ask me why. I'm guessing the newsstand wanted a more dynamic cover. Alright, so Game Informer. Sony's Epidemic goes online. So Siphon Filter the Omega strain. Again, so. Not horrible, but GamePro Resident Evil Outbreak. Finally, we spill every gory detail inside. Resident Evil was so big that even the online games, which kind of flopped. Let's put a chick on the cover, it'll sell. Which one is this? So SOCOM 2, so this has got to be... PSM really loved Ridge Racer. It was their top pick for the best racing game on the system. PSM, Mortal Kombat Deception, 007, Everything or Nothing, Seven Samurai. PSM, The Hulk. Haha, Game Fan. My other Game Fan, and this is the PS2 launch coverage right here where they review. Oh, yeah. And this one. This is where they cover the Nuon. An ill-fated... Did it ever get a release? I think it did get released. The Nuon. I think I've seen things on YouTube about it, but they cover the Nuon system. And the main game on there was Freefall. Yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. If the system ever did get released, it might have even sold less than the N-Gage or the Gizmodo. But, yeah. But anyways, back to the PS2 launch. So Dino Crisis, PLA 2, Hardcore Sweepstakes, blah blah, Turok 3, Loki Battle 64. I do remember in their sports section that they actually gave one of like the only magazines that would give NFL 2K1 a higher score than Madden. Which, you know, would have been controversial, but they were kind of a smaller magazine anyways. But yes, so this is the PlayStation 2 launch. And look which game it is. It's Armored Core 2 they put on their cover. So they were always for the little niche, obscure games. Definitely more enthusiast than, you know, let's put something on our cover that'll actually sell magazines. And I guess, call it passion over business smarts. Metal Gear Solid, Twin Snakes. I still need to pick that one up. It's probably going up there in price though. PlayStation King Kong. King Kong, you know. Apparently that's worthy of putting on a cover. Soul Calibur 2 definitely is worthy of putting on your cover. Let's see. We want to talk about ill-fated covers, even though the cover art is still amazing. Mortal Kombat Special Forces. Cover art's still awesome though. Like, you can't... They were excited for the game, I understand, but cover art is still amazing. Even if the game was a flop. I actually haven't played it. I think I'm going to pick it up one of these days just to see if it's as bad as everyone says. Alright, Doom 3. Oh yeah, here's the issue of GamePro that I found that little visor thing that moved. Aha! This right here was my first issue of GamePro magazine, modern issue, where I finally subscribed. And this is pretty much the issue where I finally started paying attention to gaming. So pretty much this is the advent Final Fantasy VII released, and I got a PlayStation, and I had an N64, and my advent of actually paying attention or giving a crap about gaming. You know, we'd rent games but we weren't really informed. This was the advent of my being semi-informed. Some people might not say that, of paying attention and really coming into my own as like someone who had an interest and hobby of gaming, or in gaming. Trying to find their Final Fantasy VII review, but Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero Mythologies, Kobo 2, Masters of Terras Kazai. So for me, this is pretty much my first, I say modern magazine issue, if you can consider it modern, considering it's, 22 years old now, but It's the Final Fantasy VII review release issue of GamePro magazine. Oh look, fake drawn booby issue again. Let's see. Oh look. Yeah, let's put Dante on the cover. That'll sell. And again, here's another curious addition to my collection. State of Emergency Strategy Guide. The official strategy guide. But then again, if the price is right, it was only $2. So, hey. Can't go wrong for $2, right? I'd buy that for $1. EGM Toshinden. So this is one of the few earlier retro EGMs I have. Not super retro, but early PlayStation 1. Oh, why did I put that on the GamePro pile? Insult. EGM. PSP on the cover, but a big sticker. Free inside. Halo 2 and Metroid Prime 2005 calendar. I actually have that somewhere. I'm not even showing some of the things that fall out of these, like the calendars and the posters. Doom 3 again. Put the Rock on the cover again. That's a repeat, I do believe. Let's see. Spider-Man. I think this is a repeat as well. Tony Hawk 4. Repeat. Oh man. That's right, this issue got damaged. But from Mario to Master Chief. Look back at 16 years of video game history. Alright, let's see which one this one is. So, PSM, well, they got a trailer for the Nokia N-Gage. Heck yeah! Trailer, Nokia N-Gage. And then Lord of the Rings on the cover, of course. Because that was a huge fad. Probably still is huge. Oh, I have two down here. PSM. Just throw Final Fantasy on the cover. You'll sell. Or PSM. So this is for which? Deadly Alliance. Deadly Alliance was pretty awesome too. I like most of Midway's games, at least the ones I've played so far, of that entire generation. Oh yeah, throw Dragon Ball Z on the cover too. That's another way to sell magazines. Just Dragon Ball Z. Pretty unballsy move, actually. And the official WWF Warzone Strategy Guide by Acclaim Max Sports. Well, Acclaim Sports. And finally in this box, last one in this box is Beyond Good and Evil over Legacy of Kain and Holiday Buyer's Guide. Alright. Down to my last two boxes. Alright, next box. Gran Turismo 4 on GamePro. This one, I think, is a tips and tricks code thing. Or walkthrough. I'm not sure, actually. Huh. Is it tips and tricks? Expert Gamer Codebook. So this is the Expert Gamer Codebook, so that'll go on the Game Now stack. Let's see. Halo 3. GamePro. Okay, this one is another British magazine. Which one is this? Huh. Which British magazine is this now? So, no, not Total Control. What is this? Solutions for PlayStation? Solutions for PlayStation. Really? Is this the British version of a walkthrough magazine? Tips review. Let's see, walkthrough. Huh. So this magazine right here is Solutions, the Solutions team. So, Solutions for PlayStation. A British magazine. Walkthrough for a few games I own. Spyro. That'll go in my miscellaneous pile. Alright. Oh, look, another strategy guide coming up and coming. So PSM, SSX. Can you blame them? And the official strategy guide for Chrono Cross. I didn't realize I had so many strategy guides. Oh, looky here, more vaporware. PSM, PlayStation 2 Wrestling. Again, put Bill Goldberg on the cover or Hulk Hogan. But this was for WCW 2000, which never came out because we all know the story. The WWF, or E, at the time, was it F still? Yes, F. Ended up buying out WCW, and that ended that game. Then again, THQ, who used to have the WCW license, ended up getting the WWF license, but that was before they bought them. Anyways, Expert Codebook from Expert Gamer again. So that goes in the Expert Gamer. And the official Resident Evil Code Veronica strategy guide. Actually, I bought Resident Evil Code Veronica on the Dreamcast from a kid in high school. I gave him $20 because I told him he probably wouldn't get much more than that from GameStop at the time, which probably was true. And so he gave me, for $20 I got Code Veronica and the official strategy guide, because he didn't need the strategy guide if he didn't own the game, so he gave me both. So, not a bad deal right there, wheeling and dealing to get my games. So, PlayStation, the official US PlayStation magazine, Soul Calibur 3. EGM, Driver 3, that's a repeat. EGM, SOCOM US Navy SEALs, I think that's a repeat. This one is a repeat. Crash. Oh, Twisted Metal Black. Sweet Tooth. Oh, that's Game Informer. Another Game Informer. Which one? Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance. Fear and Respect, so one of the Def Jam games. Wait, a world exclusive John Singleton game featuring Snoop Dogg. Fear and Respect. Did that game ever come out? Game Informer. The Getaway. Sony's Answers to GTA 3. I think that's a repeat. Game Informer. Def Jam Fight Night. Game Informer. Gears of War. It's a repeat. And then XFL. And that's how the official US PlayStation magazine did Twisted Metal Black. Let's compare. Where did Game Informer do that? Which one, just on coolness factor alone, would you buy? Twisted Metal Black with this weird clown head? Or Twisted Metal Black with Sweet Tooth, sweet mug on fire, sitting there staring you in the eyeballs? Plus that one came with a demo disc, so pretty easy to answer that question. Game Informer, Spider-Man 2, the movie, the game, the inside story. First review of Enter the Matrix. Let's see what they gave Enter the Matrix. It was really anticipated. In fact, I think Enter the Matrix sold 1 million copies, despite the fact that, yeah, not great. Auto Monolested, it's an 8. Unlimited Saga 6.5. Enter the Matrix, 8.5 for Enter the Matrix. Are you joking? It gets the same review as Chaos Legion. Same. I'm sure there's. Obviously, it's not comparable. Each game is probably taken on its own, but still. 8.5 for Enter the Matrix. Second opinion, 8. Holy crap. Gamergate. These reviews were bought. Possible. 8.5 for Enter the Matrix on the GameCube. Like, wow. Like, X2 Wolverine's Revenge gets a 5 point something. But, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Tides of War, 9.25. 8.5 for Enter the Matrix. Let me see why I wasn't a huge fan of Game Informer either. But, let me see. So, Game Informer, Fable. Project Ego becomes Fable. I think I was talking about that earlier, Project Ego. The Sims, I think that's a repeat. Alright, Game Informer. Showing Champions of Norath, Realms of EverQuest. It's kind of a forgotten series on the PS2, Champions of Norath. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Let's put Tony Hawk on the cover. That'll sell magazines. Oh, here we go. Let's grab the rest of them out of the box. At least. Why don't I just drop everything? I think I will. Gosh. Grand Theft Auto Vice City for Game Informer. Star Fox to lead the GameCube. Star Fox Adventures. Game Informer, Deadly Alliance. The official US PlayStation magazine. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Again, abstract cover art, I guess. Here's another freebie from... Oh, this one's a Game Informer. I can already tell. 8.5 for Enter the Matrix. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Shaolin Monks is awesome. I love this game, actually. It's awesome. Go get it. Final Fantasy, the official US PlayStation magazine. Alright, Game Informer. Mr. Connery returns in from Russia with love. The 100th issue of Game Informer. Okay. And then, what else fell in the box? I dropped everything. Devil May Cry, Next Generation. Like, I only had one subscription to Next Generation, and I didn't even get all the issues. Whenever Next Generation died, they sent me some crappy geek version of Maxim magazine that wasn't decent or entertaining, or official US PlayStation magazine. Hideo Kojima. A video game is not art. Doo, doo, doo. And his reasons for that are inside. Next Generation, Rogue Leader, Rogue Squadron 2. All good right there. And then Game Pro, Ultimate PSP and DS Guide. And on the cover was something else. Alright, so I'm on the last box. So Game Pro, Wind Waker, that one's a double. Game Fan's Ultimate Codebook. So I guess I have 3 Game Fan released things. Game Now, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Cowabunga Dude. Where did I put? Oh, Game Now is Expert Gamer. Look at that. This must have been like Nintendo Power's like final run whenever Chris Slate from PSM took over. Because, yeah, this one's more new. Not super new, but it's in the Wii era, PS Wii 60 era. So over to Nintendo Power. EGM Gamers Choice Awards. Here's a hint, since this was the 98 Game of the Year, which one do you think got it? Ocarina of Time. GMR, Onimusha 3. EGM, Resident Evil Online. Game Pro, Metal Gear Solid 3. And this one I must have gotten from my friend, because I don't think I would have bought an Xbox Nation. It's kind of weird, like an independent PlayStation magazine worked, but an independent Xbox magazine just really, no. Like, I don't know how many runs Xbox Nation had, but I can't imagine that it lasted very long, especially since you had the official magazine over here that was giving out demos, whereas this one, I mean, there wasn't as much interest in the Xbox as like a PlayStation brand. I mean, you had 100 million PS1s, and then you're working on 100 million PS2s plus being sold out there in the world, so I don't know, like, and again, it has that boring, drab, next-gen type format. Blah. I'm telling you. Next Gen was a decent magazine, I just hated their format, and then, like, can you tell the difference between either of these? Boring, drab. Here's a screenshot, a bunch of white text, nothing interesting. Blah, blah, blah. Next Gen. Like, this magazine went out of business for a reason. Nah, nothing against Next Gen, I guess. Okay, so AGM, Metal Gear Solid 3. One of my retros, this one is Game Players, if I remember correctly. And it seems to be more strategy-based at the time. And later it became more review-based. And then Game Players, basically all the guys from PSM, classic PSM, came from Game Players magazine. Phil Donahue, not the talk show guy, the actual editor, Chris Slade, and a few others all came over from Game Players. So this one is Sega Visions. Michael Jackson Moonwalker. No children were harmed in the filming of this video. Mortal Kombat. So Sega Visions, Mortal Kombat during Mortal Kombat Fever. So I'm going to put this in the random miscellaneous pile. I should have my... Oh, Saturn Launch Special. Hold on. I looked in the box and saw something else that... hold on. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Special edition. Electronic Gaming Monthly. The special Final Fantasy X issue. Still wrapped in its plastic. With the artwork from... Oh, crap, what's his name? I could never pronounce it anyways, even if I knew it. But the official Final Fantasy artwork guy, who used to do it for, you find all the retro, like Final Fantasy 6 and 5 artwork, this is this guy's work. So this was the special collector's edition. As you can see, like if you took it out of the plastic, the cover was just the artwork. All this stuff wasn't on it. So I still have it brand new, pretty much factory, well, sealed, minus this little nick up top here. But so this one's the collector's edition, and I have an open version of this exact same issue somewhere in this pile. So PSM, Siphon Filter 2, Electronic Gaming Monthly, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Game Pro, Dragon Ball Z. Oh yeah, so it's put Master Chief, Spider-Man, Dragon Ball Z, or Lara Croft, or Solid Snake. But Spider-Man, Ico. For a while there, it was considered an underrated or hidden gem. It was on the list, but it did get a front page cover. At least one. Nowadays it would, but it fell into obscurity, like, I don't know. Metal Gear Solid 2, that's a really thick issue of the official PlayStation magazine. They must have 5 extra celebrity gamer interviews in there. See, Midnight Club 2, PSM's PlayStation Codebook. So this goes with PSM. Let's see. I'm almost done. Almost done. So the official Final Fantasy IX strategy guide. I have a lot of strategy guides. And the official Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy II strategy guide. Final Fantasy Origins. So, Gamer. Hardcore Gamer magazine. This one might actually be the sequel to Game Fan. You can actually, I don't know if you can anymore, but at one time you could go onto this website, hardcoregamer.com, and you could download full PDFs of their issues, including this one I have in my hand. I bought this one off the magazine stand, but I don't know if the website is still up, so don't quote me on it, but you should, if it's still around, they have full PDF versions of all their issues. But that one goes in the random stack. Game Informer, Devil May Cry 2, EGM, Legend of Zelda, of course, EGM, Metal Gear Solid, EGM, I think this one's a repeat, EGM, Driver 3, PSM, Nightshade, sequel to Shinobi, PSM, Enter the Matrix. Again, Enter the Matrix was popular before it came out, and it sold 1 million copies before everyone realized it was glitchy and not very good. It got a lot of hype. It definitely got a lot of hype. Onimusha 2 on PSM. So when my Next Gen magazine subscription ran out, they sent me this magazine, Sync Magazine, because I want to read about video games, but now I want to see like a chick licking an MP3 player, because a cheap geek version of Maxim Magazine is what I ordered. You know, I couldn't just put in a subscription to Maxim Magazine if that's what I wanted. This magazine, I don't know. I don't think I've ever read much in it. Just wasn't really my scene. Like geek tech and Apple or MP3 or what. Like, I'm just purely a video game geek. I ain't got time to be a geek about every geek subject, and I don't really care to be. In fact, I'm not cool enough to be a geek anymore. Anyway, so Shadow of the Colossus, the official US PlayStation magazine. Again, Enter the Matrix, because, you know, give it an 8.5. Because that makes sense. Alright. Rounding up some of the last ones. GMR, Monster Hunter. See, it did get front page coverage from one magazine. Nintendo Power, Soul Calibur 2. Of course, it's just a nice way to put Link on the cover. Vice City. Repeat. This one, I think it's a repeat. Devil May Cry 2, Game Informer. That's not some bad artwork for a Game Informer cover. It's actually pretty good artwork, considering. They might have... Yeah, they actually got a comic book guy. So Game Informer took PSM's cue and got actually... So this one is actually a nice cover for Game Informer. Too bad the magazine's crap, but... let's see, Game Informer. Midnight Club 2. Alright. Then... Here's another GMR. Let me see. GMR covering... What are you covering? Need for Speed Underground 2. And then I have some that I've been looking through. So I was researching a very specific topic. Hopefully I don't give it away, but here is GamePro's PS2 and PlayStation Encyclopedia. This was given away at around the launch of the PS2, where it reviewed all the launch games, and it went through their archive of PS1 reviews. So almost all the games they ever reviewed, they went through what their reviews were. So that was pretty cool. And actually, this is one of my favorite ones to read and reread and reread. PSM Unreal Tournament 3. PSM, let's see, that one's the advertisement page. Come along. Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Not a bad one to put on the cover, eh? Oh. So, PSM. Dark Cloud, the Zelda killer? No. No. But the artwork's amazing. This one, oh wow. Got a little damage there. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. PlayStation 2. GamePro helps you pick your first PS2 games. Final Fantasy 9 for GamePro. Another fat issue. Lara Does PS2. Look at that artwork again. I know it's all Photoshop, and there's probably kids that do artwork channels on YouTube that can do this and make it look even better, but look at that. It's like shiny, but it's not supposed to be shiny because it's just a little drawn picture, but it's still shiny like it's three-dimensional. Again, I love PSM's artwork. These easily the best artwork around. This is a secondary copy of the PlayStation Encyclopedia. This one my friend gave me, but he cut pictures out of it, man. So you can't read all the reviews in there. He's using it for like a scrapbook or something, so I have 2 copies though. Oh look, the PlayStation 2 is revealed. So if you didn't have internet, this is probably how you found out about it. One of these magazines showing you a picture of what is a pretty ugly console. I mean, yeah, we gotta admit, the PS2, great console, don't get me wrong, but it's ugly, and I was disappointed by the 2 controller ports only. And then GamePro, the launch of the PS2. And I think that's all that. I think outside of some stragglers I might have laying around my apartment, this is my official video game magazine collection. Unless there's a box I'm missing, but I don't see it, so... Oh, man. It hurts to stand up sometimes. So we have miscellaneous pile, Game Now, Expert Gamer / EGM2, Next Gen Magazine, which I have the final issue of that one, and the final issue of Game Now. Have Game Pro Magazine, obviously the most popular, plus I have a bunch of doubles in there. EGM, PSM, Nintendo Power, GMR, Official Xbox Magazine, Official PlayStation Magazine, Game Informer. I really like gaming magazines. In fact, they're like a little archive. An archive, this is your history, gamers. I mean, I know you can go on the internet and see Metacritic scores, but Metacritic scores don't really let you get the vibe of the entire industry at the time. You read through what were the likes, what were the games that were hot, what was it, you know, during the PlayStation era, what did they put a preference on when reviewing a game? Obviously, it wasn't storyline or cinematic creation. So this helps you archive your history. I love collecting these things. I don't know if I'm going to collect any more. I mean, this is my own personal collection that I've acquired. I don't think I'm going to be doing any eBay shopping for any of these old things, but I mean, I just wish there was a way to really archive these things for everyone to read. But, again, yes, you can go back on the internet and archive and look at their archives too. You can find old reviews on IGN and GameSpot going back to the early or mid-90s. But there's just something way cooler about holding an actual video game magazine in your hand. Not only can you poop with it in your hands, I'm just joking, but still, it's just, there's something still magical to me, at least. And I'm obviously in the minority, otherwise video games magazines would still be around today. But it's really depressing when I go to the newsstands of today and I see Quilting Monthly and 8,000 gun magazines and no video game magazines at all. Like, there should still be a niche for this somewhere. Small niche. I know EGM, actually I have that somewhere. That's one of the stragglers around my apartment, I recently bought an issue of EGM because occasionally they'll put them out. But, again, like I said, to me, this is something more special than just reading a website, and I don't know, it's just so much cooler. Way cooler. So I have, and again, like I said, there's times that people would like to revise what happened in gaming history as well. They try and put their opinion of it in there. They try and tell you what gamers were thinking at the time, which it was a time before internet, so how would they actually know? Word of mouth? Would they read the magazines at the time, read the letter section, see what people were complaining about, see what the editors were complaining about? Or do they just make crap up? This is also another way to catch historical revisionism in video games. But, and again, I guess that's probably a bit too paranoid a theory right there. I just like reading them, it's fun. It's a time capsule to a better, nicer time in gaming, I think. Happier times in your life. Just, I don't know. To me, this is magic. Even Game Informer. You know, whatever. But, I don't know. But I could just be crazy. Anyway, so, outside of a couple of stragglers and, you know, all these, let me even go into the posters. And some of the other things I have here. But, like I said, cool little time capsules to the past. And I love collecting magazines. And I love reading old gaming magazines. And I geek out over this stuff a lot more than pretty much anything that there is to geek out over today. But then again, I'm not cool enough to be a geek anymore. So here is my official video game magazine collection. Couple of final issues. And if you ever worked on these print magazines and you happen across this video, not very likely, come on. My hat goes off to you because, I don't know, print is dead, brah, but you gave it your best shot, man. You gave it your best shot.